April 6, 2025, Alex Ovechkin did something many believed was impossible. He scored his 895th NHL goal, breaking Wayne Gretzky's all-time record. The moment came against the New York Islanders during a power play in the second period. From his signature spot in the left face-off circle, Ovechkin unleashed a one-timer past Islanders goalie Ilya Sorokin. This made Sorokin the 183rd goaltender to be beaten by Ovechkin's shot. As the puck hit the back of the net, the Capital One Arena erupted. Teammates rushed onto the ice. Ovechkin celebrated with his trademark penguin slide across the ice, a moment that instantly went viral. The scoreboard read 2-1, but what mattered most wasn't the score. It was the history made. Wayne Gretzky was in the building. Cameras captured him applauding with a smile. His last NHL goal, ironically, also came against the Islanders. The symbolism wasn't lost. Ovechkin had chosen not to break the record 2 nights earlier against the Chicago Blackhawks, opting not to take an empty net opportunity out of respect. Instead, he waited for a goal that counted, one that would be remembered. After the game, Ovechkin spoke to the press. "It's huge. It's unbelievable. I'm proud for my family, teammates, coaches." Ovechkin's achievement was immediately acknowledged across the NHL. The league's official X account posted a simple but powerful word: GR8ness. The Capitals tweeted, "Thank you, O," in all caps, along with a highlight of the goal. Players and coaches across the league shared their admiration. Toronto Maple Leafs star Austin Matthews said, "One of my favorite players. An honor to compete against you." Blues coach Craig Berube pointed out that Ovechkin's shot hasn't slowed down one bit, and that he's still finding ways to score like it's 2008. A ceremony was held on the ice post-game. Wayne Gretzky took the mic and became visibly emotional. "895 is pretty special," he said. "I watched this one with my kids. We were talking about it all week. It's amazing to witness history like this. I know how hard this record is to reach." The story, however, quickly expanded beyond sports. Hours after the goal, the Kremlin issued an official statement from Russian President Vladimir Putin. "A real celebration for fans in Russia and abroad. Your success is a triumph for Russian hockey." Putin's full translated message was read on Russian state television. It praised Ovechkin's discipline and persistence, and referred to his record as a milestone that reflects the strength and character of the Russian people. He ended by wishing Ovechkin good health, family happiness, and the continuation of your fighting spirit. This statement instantly drew global attention, not just for the praise, but for what it represented. Ovechkin has long been known to be close to Putin. He publicly supported him during election campaigns and once wore gear bearing Putin's image during pre-game warm-ups. Before joining the NHL in 2005, Ovechkin played for Dynamo Moscow. His ties to Russian leadership have been a subject of ongoing debate, especially in light of current global politics. With the ongoing war in Ukraine, the timing of Putin's praise triggered a wave of criticism. Former goaltender Dominik Hasek didn't hold back, tweeting, "Ovechkin and the NHL have blood on their hands." This isn't the first time Hasek has spoken out. He has repeatedly urged the NHL to suspend contracts with Russian players amid the conflict. The league, meanwhile, has attempted to walk a fine line, celebrating Ovechkin's on-ice achievements while distancing itself from political narratives. Public reaction has been sharply divided. Many fans argue that Ovechkin's legacy should be viewed strictly within the context of hockey. Others believe that in today's interconnected world, separating politics from sport is no longer realistic. One commentator on ESPN asked, "Can you separate the athlete from the man? Should we?" The story took an odd turn thanks to the New York Islanders' response to the record. At the time of the goal, their official account simply tweeted, "WSH goal, 2-1 Isles." There was no mention of the record-breaking moment, no acknowledgement of Ovechkin's accomplishment. It was a stark contrast to the praise flooding in from across the NHL. Fans immediately noticed. Replies flooded in. "Who scored it?" "Say his name." "Petty level, elite." Memes circulated quickly, and criticism grew. A few hours later, the Islanders tweeted again, "Congrats on an amazing accomplishment, Ovechkin." For many, the damage was already done. Some speculated that the initial silence was a calculated decision due to Ovechkin's political associations. Others chalked it up to in-the-moment social media mismanagement. Either way, it became part of the larger conversation around the moment. On the ice, however, the numbers are undeniable. Ovechkin has now scored 895 career goals. He scored against 183 different goaltenders, with 45 of those goals coming against the Toronto Maple Leafs alone. His consistency is remarkable. He's logged 20 seasons with at least 30 goals, including seasons where injuries and lockouts shortened the schedule. His durability has also been a key factor. Ovechkin rarely missed games due to injury. While other top scorers saw decline in their mid-30s, he continued to post 40-plus goal seasons into his late 30s. The 2024-25 season was no different. Now, the question becomes, what's next? Can he reach 1,000 goals? At 39 years old, that would require at least 2 more high-output seasons, but based on his current pace, it's within reach.
Alex, I said I'd be the first guy to shake your hand when you broke the record, and I wore this pin.
Alex Ovechkin scored his 895th career NHL goal, breaking Wayne Gretzky's long-standing record of 894. The historic moment came during a Washington Capitals game against the New York Islanders at UBS Arena. At 12:34 of the second period, Ovechkin received a pass from Tom Wilson on the power play and fired a shot past goaltender Ilya Sorokin. The goal triggered an immediate celebration, with Ovechkin sliding across the ice as teammates mobbed him. Even Islanders players offered handshakes in a display of sportsmanship. Wayne Gretzky, present at the game, stepped onto the ice to congratulate Ovechkin. His first words were a challenge. Get to 900. Gretzky had been closely involved in Ovechkin's pursuit of the record, often referred to as the GR8 chase. The NHL's all-time leading scorer had publicly supported Ovechkin throughout the journey, emphasizing the significance of the milestone. During a TNT broadcast following the goal, Gretzky made a striking comparison. There are 3 guys that played the game physical, smart, intelligent, and with finesse: Gordie Howe, Mark Messier, and Ovechkin. The statement stood out because Gretzky excluded himself and Sidney Crosby, 2 players frequently linked to Ovechkin in discussions about greatness. Gordie Howe, known as Mr. Hockey, was renowned for his combination of skill and physicality, recording 801 NHL goals while playing a rugged style. Mark Messier, a 6-time Stanley Cup champion, was celebrated for his leadership and clutch performances. Gretzky's comparison highlighted Ovechkin's unique ability to dominate with both power and precision. Gretzky's admiration for Ovechkin dates back to their first encounters. He first saw Ovechkin at the World Juniors and was immediately impressed by his skill and athleticism. Later, as head coach of the Arizona Coyotes, Gretzky witnessed Ovechkin's famous goal scored while lying on his back against Brian Boucher. The debate over Gretzky's era versus Ovechkin's has been a recurring topic. Critics argue Gretzky benefited from weaker goaltending and less structured defenses in the 1980s. When asked about this, Gretzky responded, "There is no doubt the coaching is better, the equipment is better, and the athletes are better. But I would have loved to play 3-on-3 overtime. I would have loved to start every power play in the offensive zone. I would have loved not having a guy shadow me and hooking and holding." Ovechkin's achievement is made more impressive by the evolution of the game. Modern goaltenders are larger and more technically sound, while defensive systems are far more advanced. Gretzky acknowledged these challenges, stating Ovechkin faced different obstacles than he did. Sidney Crosby, Ovechkin's longtime rival, also weighed in on the milestone. "This one I thought not to be attainable, and he found a way to do it," Crosby admitted. The 2 players, drafted in 2004 and 2005 respectively, made their NHL debuts on the same night in 2005. Their careers have been intertwined, marked by 4 playoff meetings between the Penguins and Capitals. Crosby reached out to Ovechkin after the record-breaking goal, sending a message that read, "Ovi, it's been an honor to compete against you for all these years. Over that time, you've accomplished so many milestones, but this one was probably thought to be impossible, and you found a way to do it." Crosby himself recently surpassed one of Gretzky's records, becoming the first player with 20-point-per-game seasons. Despite their fierce rivalry, Ovechkin and Crosby have mutual respect. In 2023, Ovechkin stated, "I'm pretty sure when me and him are going to be retired, we're going to have a couple of beers together." Crosby responded, "Oh yeah, we have a lot to catch up on." Their careers have been defined by parallel achievements. Ovechkin won the Calder Trophy in 2006, narrowly beating Crosby. The Penguins and Capitals met in the playoffs 4 times, with Pittsburgh winning in 2009, 2016, and 2017, and Washington finally breaking through in 2018 en route to their first Stanley Cup. At age 39 when he broke the record, Ovechkin showed he still possesses the traits that made him dominant at 21. The explosive first step, the powerful stride, and most importantly, that devastating shot. His ability to maintain his physical tools while adapting his game to the NHL's evolution is a symbol of his work ethic and hockey IQ. Gretzky's praise highlights how Ovechkin's game has always been about more than just scoring. His physical play, leadership, and willingness to sacrifice his body have made him the complete package, much like Howe and Messier before him. This combination of qualities is what separates good goal scorers from all-time greats. As Ovechkin continues his career, the hockey world will watch to see how high he can push the new record. With Gretzky's challenge of get to 900 ringing in his ears, and the knowledge that every goal from here on out extends a record many thought unbreakable, the greatest goal scorer in NHL history isn't done writing his legacy yet.